Hey, Dan.
Hi there. Okay,
Hi, Dan.
hello. Are we ready to get started?
Yes,
Yes.
Did you do the roll call?
I can. Chair Ganella,
Here.
Vice Chair Garten,
Here.
Board Member Montanti is currently absent. Board Member Anderson.
Looks like he's trying to connect.
Okay. Board Member Roberts,
Here.
Board Member Ramirez,
Here.
and Main Street Meredith. We have
Is
a
that your new name, Main Street Meredith? I kind of like it. To it.
I've been called worse.
I'm sure.
Sounds like a lady of the night.
How sure? How sure are you?
The campaign's not over yet. It's gonna get dirty.
It's not.
I'm kidding. Just kidding. Okay. Is David in? Let's just wait for David to connect. While we're waiting for David, are there any public comments? Seeing none. Before we ask for the board comments, let's let David connect. How was everyone's month off?
Good.
It's
Great.
humid out here in Palm Springs this month.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it still is.
Yep.
The rain was nice this weekend, though. We needed
Oh
it.
God, yeah. And it actually cooled down the other night. That was really nice. Jasmine and Faith, did you guys work all month, or was it like work from home or dark or anything for you guys? Just worked?
Yeah, we work on.
Someday will be nice retired people and we'll take the month of August off too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's make sure your pensions are safe.
Please.
Should we start anyway, Dan? Looks like David's having
All right.
some trouble.
Any board comments? Okay. Any correspondence? There's a letter from Marilyn Sabins. Is that right? That's what I see here on the agenda. Jasmine, Faith, is there?
Give me 1 minute. Let me
Okay.
see if Faith can follow up on that. One sec.
The ukulele players perform at VillageFest.
Oh, okay. That was a request that came in that we wanted to see if the board would just review. It was a one-time, they were going to be in town and we wanted to allow them to come out to VillageFest to perform. There would be no exchange of dollars, and either way, just a special performance one time.
So how do we do that with, have we had other one-time performances, or if we have entertainers, don't they pay like a $25 fee for the night or something?
Sometimes if it's just like a special program that we're putting on, we don't. So sometimes we have the dancers that come in and they'll do just a special performance. Sometimes they kind of do it up and down the street, but we normally just present it to you if it's just kind of like a special occasion type of thing that we're adding.
Okay.
I think it would be a great addition.
I
just for
agree.
one night.
Mhm.
When are we talking about for that?
Faith, do you know what the date is on that?
You're on mute, Faith.
I guess the question is it in high season or is it going to be soon?
Yeah, it's going to be in either February or March, like either the middle of February or the beginning of March.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was David. He's trying to log on from his work computer and is having some issue.
Okay. All right. So how do you want to handle this with the ukulele players? You want to just get a motion on the floor? You want to, do we know what they stand for? Is the organization, is it affiliated with anything, with a religious affiliation, with a charity affiliation or anything like that?
I don't believe so. I believe they're just a traveling ukulele group who likes to find locations to do one-time performances.
Can they play Tiny Tim music?
I'm sure we could ask.
That's the only ukulele song I know. All right, anybody have any comments or questions about this or feelings about it?
I like it.
Okay, that's a thumbs up from Celia. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think it would be fun as well. I think more music, entertainment's always a good
Yep.
energy down there for everyone.
Hey, David.
David.
David, is your audio connected?
You're on mute, David.
No, it's his audio is not connected. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
David, we already went over board comments.
There he is.
Do you
There
have
he is.
There, I'm
anything?
here now, sorry.
Do you have any board comments before we carry on here?
No, just an addition to the new or old business that we haven't touched on, so I'll
Okay.
get later.
All right, so let's go back to the ukulele players. All right, so you want to put a motion on the floor? Celia, since you.
Sure, I move that we accept the ukulele players for a one-night performance sometime in February or March.
At no charge, right? That's what the question is.
You're on mute, Faith.
Sorry, you don't have to make a motion, it's just correspondence.
Okay.
Okay, all
Later.
right. So overall, I guess we're okay with it. Anyone post this? Okay, fine. All right, for the consent calendar. The agenda, everybody looked at the agenda and is okay with it? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? No, okay, that's good. The minutes, everybody get a chance to review the minutes from the last time? Any discrepancies? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, cool.
I do need a first and a second on those.
Okay, so let's go back. On the agenda, I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda as it was offered,
Second,
seconded by Greg Roberts. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? No. Any abstaining? No. Okay,
Thank-
approval of the minutes. Who wants to make a motion for the approval of the minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
So moved
Aye.
by Vice Chair Garten. Anybody seconding?
second again.
Greg Roberts, second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? No? Okay, all right, sorry about that. Now we're back on track. All right, so moving to our vendor review section. Sarah Jane Brush, is Sarah Jane on?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Sarah, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks. How are you doing?
Good, take about 3 minutes to tell us about, it looks like you just want to add something to your booth?
Yes. So I do watercolor paintings for note cards, and I actually do for the holiday season. I do ceramic painted pumpkins as well. So I'll kind of show you a little briefing of it. It's a little ceramic painted pumpkin for the holidays. I like to do some desert themes. So I have a Joshua tree one here. I have a palm tree one as well here. I don't know if you can see those.
Oh, I see them now, okay.
And then also a little cactus one as well that I do. So I ground the pumpkins with the watercolor basing. So it will absorb the watercolor coloring. And then after I paint them, I actually varnish them. So it will seal them and the coloring doesn't come off of those.
And they're ceramic?
Yes, they're ceramic.
Beautiful, very nice, okay.
And timely.
Yeah.
Exactly,
A
very
little bit,
seasonal.
yeah.
Anyone have any questions for Sarah?
Out of curiosity, how much?
So they're $20 for one of the pumpkins. So each are 20.
Great.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Motion? I make a motion that we accept Sarah adding seasonal pumpkins to her table. Looks like, David, were you seconding?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay, seconded by David Anderson. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Great, okay. All good, Sarah, so you're good to go.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for being part of Village Fest, and we look
Aye.
forward to seeing your beautiful pumpkins.
Thank you so much.
Okay. The next vendor is Alan Phillips, Mid-Century Modern Birdhouses. Is Alan on with us?
He's going to come to the next meeting. He didn't have, he was sold out of his birdhouses.
Okay. It's funny because he missed the last one. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I guess they're good birdhouses. Is Jamie Finkelstein on with us?
I'm here.
Okay, hi, Jamie. Carl V12, photo art prints and wall art, prints on acrylic glass, photos on metal note cards.
Correct.
take about 3 minutes to tell us about your product and how you make it, who makes it, and what you want to do at VillageFest.
Okay. First, I'd like to introduce Carlos Vargas, who's
Hi,
the
everybody.
artist.
Hi, Carlos.
Hello.
He has been doing professional photography for probably about 5 years. We've been doing shows around, and we finally decided to join VillageFest. We have all kinds of items, all with Carlos's original artwork on it. We have note cards that are $4 each. These are 8x10 mounted prints that are 30. Same thing here. Fine art prints that are 10x10 for 45. Then behind us, we have our large acrylic, which, can you see?
Yes.
Okay, that's 30 inches by 20 inches and is $5.75. And then over here is a 20-inch framed fine art print, and that one is $3.99.
Very nice.
So we have multiple sizes, primarily boils down to regular photo prints, regular fine art prints, framed, metal, and acrylic. Those are basically the options that we have for sale. And they range anywhere from $25 up to $800 right now. We
Okay.
can go bigger. We haven't quite had the need to go bigger yet, but we're looking at it.
Very
So
nice.
some of them are photographs and some of them are fine art. And what's the medium?
They're all photographs.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are on regular photo paper, which is like
But
this one. And then some of them are on fine art paper, which are this one.
Okay, thank you.
The difference is the look, the texture, the feel. The photo prints do not need to be what we call secured, meaning you can just lean them up against the wall, whatever you want. The fine art prints, because of the paper they're on, do need to be protected,
Behind glass.
usually by a frame.
They're very timely. I mean, they're very iconically Palm Springs.
Yeah,
A
beautiful.
lot of Carlos's work is Palm Springs. He started doing old vintage neon signs that are around the country. We do have a lot of those. And
mid-century modern architecture.
right,
I hope you got the Rancho Mirage car wash. That's one of the best.
absolutely.
Here.
I do
Got the
have
big
it,
pink-
yes.
Pink elephant.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
awesome one.
It's very iconic, so yes, we do have it.
Nice.
And do you do any lithos or do you do any prints that are numbered, or is everyone one of kind?
We do have some that are numbered.
Okay, and they're all signed, correct?
Yes.
That's not a requirement, by the way. It's just my curiosity. Anyone have any questions for these gentlemen?
No questions from me. Just a quick comment. I've seen your work, Carlos, online, and it's very colorful. It's very mid-century modern, and it's, yeah, very iconic. I think it could be a great addition here to the VillageFest downtown.
Thank you so much.
It's very vivid. I love that. All right, can we get a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to accept Carl V12 into the VillageFest family.
So moved by Christopher. Anyone want a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Celia. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? No? Okay. Congratulations, gentlemen, you're approved. You'll work with Faith to get oriented, and then also to set up your start date and all of that, okay? But you'll go through.
Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much.
I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you.
Congratulations. Welcome to the VillageFest family.
Thank you.
Okay. The next one, JWT Gnome, Jeff Singh, 3D media mixed pictures created from rocks. I'm really
Oh, I
curious.
think you skipped the quartz,
Oh, you know what I did is I checked off the, never mind, I'm sorry.
Josefa.
You're absolutely right.
Ramirez?
Sorry about that. Is Josefa Ramirez on? Well, we'll skip over that person for now until they show. And I'm sorry, back to you again, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm Jeff. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So take about 3 minutes to tell us about your product and how you do it. I'm really curious about how you make pictures from rocks and anything else you want us to know about what you
Okay,
want to
I was being artist over 17 already, 17 years already. During COVID, because we can't do any shows, so but I keep losing money, pay rent, so I have no choice. I close my shop, sold all my equipment, but I try to support my family, so I have to find a way out. So now I just restart my business. So now I make everything at home. Also, I can get to stay with my family, my kids. So anyway, so the ideas from I collect a lot of unique rocks and seashells. Even my son, someone go with me to beach. So the idea just passed from my mind, and since I saw these rocks, so I just told myself I can use this to create some artwork. So from the beginning, so I'm gonna show you all the process. About all the frames, this is a 5x7 from Michaels. And also I do about 11 by 14, 16 by 620, just different sizes. And then I paint the rocks. I don't know if you guys can see, and these are paints I use are also bought from Michaels. So all different colors.
Yeah.
And then also these are the rocks I paint.
Mhm.
Okay, like the different colors. And then also I collect the wood trees from my yard, from hiking park. So that these I use. So I took the frame, I glue on, and I glue about from Home Depot. Okay, E6000.
Yeah.
Very high quality glue. They don't come, they don't easy fall apart. So I glue the stick first, and then I just use the rocks I paint. I glue on it. Okay, I don't know. You can
Oh, I
see.
see. It looks like two parakeets on a.
Yeah, this is just easier to make. I just show you, for example. So these I finish.
Yeah, that's cute.
They are cute.
Adorable.
Everything done by hand, and also I try to create more like because I would like to join like fine art, so I create some more interesting design. Like this, I use my seashell collection. This is how I started. I made like a hot air balloon design.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is just like halfway done. And this is one I finished. I frame it. I use the rocks to make like a mountain.
Mountain, yeah, that's cute.
Okay, and I use the sea gas to create like a cloud. And also I just sign my name on the bottom for every single one, because every single one gonna be one of a kind.
Yep.
Yeah, and then also I do custom design. A lot of people play Scrabble,
Yeah.
the game. So personally I don't play, but I think it's a unique ideas. So I use a Scrabble, become part of my hour. So I do like custom name.
Oh,
Or can you see it?
yeah.
So I do take custom orders.
Mhm.
So depending how many family members they have, so I put all their name on the board. So it becomes like a houseman gift. Or they made a very unique gift because it's like personalized for their family.
How do you do it other than names? You use the Scrabble letters to do things like to say, you know, peace, happiness, joy, or to do things like you just put one letter which stands for what it is.
I do a lot of design, but a lot of design though in my chart. Okay, I do the, I save on my phone.
Yeah.
I look dog and person and
Oh, I
I
see. Yeah,
say I
yeah.
love you forever.
Love you
And
forever.
also I do the different design. One of my favorite I saw last week. I did shows a mountain view.
Mhm.
I made I don't know, you can see from my phone. I
How
made
cute.
tree, with a bird on the tree. This is 16 by 20. The price I'm paying 495 because it took me like 8 hours to finish it. You see a lot of details.
Right.
So also I do some more.
And are they all in a shadow box frame? In other words, like the front of it is sealed with either plexi or glass, or are some of them open?
Some are open because
Okay.
some people like to touch and to
Yeah.
feel it. Some people, some I put in the shadow box because some people they like to keep it clean.
Yeah, of course. Mhm.
Yeah, and another one I did 2 days ago. I used the rocks to create a swing.
Oh, that's very cute. Yeah,
And the rocks tree. I don't know. Sorry, I should show you the original
yeah.
picture, but it was like 16 by 20. Is very big.
It's very creative the way you make people out of the rocks. I think
Yeah, it's very interesting.
that's just very interesting.
You know, I like create art. For personal, I like art, but I like create unique stuff. Especially, I don't want copy people design or do similar. I like to do my own. So, this one gonna be next level. I just paint on the background.
Wow.
Oh, that's
You know,
great.
all the
That's really
details.
well.
I use the
Wow.
shells.
great.
Yeah, I did everything by myself. Every single
Right, it
piece.
looks like the Algarve, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because
what I thought.
people they like different, so I like to
Yeah, they're very nice.
feel what they want. So I just start create for them. So that is fun to create for somebody.
So Jeff,
Like-
do you want to be in year round or do you want to just do it seasonally or?
Because I have 3 kids, I have to take my kids every day. Okay, because I already have a plan next month in October. Because we're gonna go to Albuquerque for vacation. I try to go back to VillageFest. I've been seeing it a long time, but I would like to start maybe end October, after family trip. Also, I need to make more more inventory because I know every single piece it take time to make. So I need a lot of time to get ready because I don't want to go there just only have show a few pictures. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I
Start
like.
date's not a problem at all. Like if you needed time to get started, if you said I can't start until December, whatever, but because you'll have to go through orientation and get set up through Faith for when you can get started. But I think the question is typically either there's 2 seasons for a Village Fest.
Yeah.
It's the winter season, the summer season. And if I didn't name those appropriately, please correct me, Jasmine. But anyway, there are 2 seasons, and some vendors, especially vendors that have heat sensitive items or ice cream, stuff like that, some of them only come for the winter session. Some people come for both for the whole year. That was the question. Would you be with us in the summer?
For me, I'm more concerned because I use a glue to glue rocks. I just because I never text. If I stay in the like high heat, they're gonna like melt and follow.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm concerned.
Okay.
But besides that, I would like to do the whole year round. I just don't know that for the summer it's gonna be over 115 degrees. I don't know
Yeah.
the glue I use gonna hold, you know. So I'm kind of.
Well, you've got almost a whole year to figure that out. So things are starting to cool off. So maybe
I can try, but if
You
it doesn't work, but I have to say, hey, sorry, I cannot do it the summertime because
right,
it's too hot. The glue will melt, you know.
right.
Yeah.
But your intention is to go year round if the product.
Well, if I have a time, I have enough inventory, I
Okay.
would love to. But like I said, I need, I just don't want to go there, only have a few pictures finish it. Like I said, each picture tell me like from hour to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I want to show everyone because the one I have from the beginning, I made the big picture. I'm sorry, I have to show you. This is like 36 by 30, the size. It made all from seashell.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
My goodness.
So this one took me over 2 months to finish.
Wow.
Wow.
So like I said, each picture
Beautiful.
took me a lot of time to finish. So I just more worried about I don't have inventories to show or the customer can buy. So that just doesn't make any sense to go there, you know. So this is
You should show some of those, have pictures of some of those in case you get commissions from people. You know, you can maybe have.
I do think a lot of way, but you know, I've been to shows a lot. Most customers like to take it with them. Yeah, they don't want to wait or they're worried about in case they got scammed. I took money, I'm not gonna send the order to them. You know, a lot of people. I've been facing that kind of customer all the time, but as you trust me, I've been doing shows over 20 years, include COVID. And this the other one I made is a cherry blossom, also made out from
Right. Nice.
once ago. Yeah, so every single piece, like this one took me 6 weeks to finish.
But the little one you showed us with the birds on the two little birds on the branch, I mean, that's probably something you can do very quickly and that would sell.
Yeah, this is less than an hour. Yeah, this one, the price I'm selling $49. And the one that hot air balloon I sold 2 days ago, per 185. I bring 2 pictures, both sold on first day.
Yeah.
Because people they like my creations because it's different.
Oh, there's no question that your stuff would sell.
Yeah, and then the big picture. Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, maybe can we take a vote?
Yeah. So, Jeff, anything else that you wanted to tell us before we put it to the floor?
Well, I don't have any problem because of my cousin Sherry in VillageFest already, because she keep told me I should do show with her. Her name is Julie Brendan. She's the jeweler.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know her.
Faith might, because she sets them up.
She's like also the Taiwanese. She's a like Asian girl, the short. I think her booth in front of.
It's Arts Anvil.
Oh yeah. She's my cousin.
Yeah.
All right. So, anybody have any questions for Jeff before we put a motion on the floor? No. Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we accept this vendor into VillageFest.
I'll second.
Seconded by Chris. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? No? Okay. Well, congratulations, Jeff. It's beautiful stuff. We really love it. And welcome to the VillageFest family. And you'll work out the details with Faith, and there's flexibility around when you can start, but she'll let you know all that, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Jeff.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you.
Is Johnny Drummond on? No? Then we're going to go to Allison because I could see her. Allison, Think Together.
Yeah,
Tell us about your nonprofit and what your intentions are here with VillageFest, why you want to be at VillageFest.
Sure, not a problem. So I'm the Director of Talent Acquisition for Think Together. We are an educational nonprofit. We're the largest provider of after-school educational programs in the state of California. Currently serve over 200,000 kids with the ultimate goal of serving all 2 million that are currently underserved in the state. We've been established for 25 years, starting out in Orange County and then spreading in to the rest of the state from the Bay down to Palm Springs. And Palm Springs is an area where we're seeing a lot of growth and new contracts coming to our organization for programs. And so that, of course, increases the staffing need that we have. So we have a lot of great full-time and part-time positions open in the Palm Springs region. So our main intention is to be able to go to Village Fest and share kind of some of the information about being a part of Think Together as an employee. And then also as kind of a secondary goal, we of course like to educate families and children on the programs we offer, some of the sites we're based at, because they may go to school there and benefit from our free resources.
Okay,
Wonderful.
sounds perfect. All right.
Now, would this be, are you wanting to do this on a one-time basis? Or are you thinking you might want to be there over a period of time?
We were looking at having an ongoing weekly presence if that was possible. I would probably say for the next 60-ish days, maybe 90. We're in our peak hiring right now with school starting and enrollment happening. We're still opening new programs. So we'll probably have a pretty steady hiring need for the next 90 plus days.
Okay. Any other questions?
Allison, what kind of people are you looking for? What are you recruiting?
Yeah, great question. We have a lot of different positions open. So we have anything from part-time positions in the mornings or in afternoons on weekdays for homework help, supervising our programs. Those are great for college students. We're really flexible with the school schedules. They still have weekends off for free time or their studies. And we also have really competitive pay rates. We actually just invested a lot of money into increasing our base pay. Don't quote me, but I believe it just increased to $19 an hour, maybe even 20 in Palm Springs, which was about a $3 increase. So that's one position. And then we also have leadership positions. So for people like teachers looking to transition out of a traditional classroom setting, also HR positions in our regional office, recruiting positions, and specialty positions like data analyst.
Oh,
Good, thank you.
other questions?
This is a curious, an interesting approach to recruitment coming from somebody that's in human resources. Have we ever done anything like this before? I think it's fantastic.
When you say have we done anything, you mean us or do you mean think?
Well, have you ever experienced? Let me ask the candidate first. Have you been doing this before at other street fairs and community events? And how's it gone?
We do actually. We were just in College of the Desert on Tuesday at one of their events, and we have an ongoing partnership with them. So we're at most of their community events. We also hosted an on-site hiring event at our regional office in Palm Springs, where people could come in and interview on site. Since we work in education, there's some extra steps like fingerprinting. They're able to do that on site with us too. And then we just did an event at the Temecula Promenade. So we'll do anything from like shopping centers, community events, farmers markets. But we actually just got feedback from our recruiter in Palm Springs about these two recent events. It says it really seems like the community is very responsive to kind of that in-person boots on the ground presence. So we're really looking to continue to capitalize on that in the area.
I just want to compliment you. I think it's brilliant. And I mean, there's such an audience for that here. People that are grandparents that want to give back, or part-time grandparents, or people that want to help somebody learn to read, or I think it's great. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're really excited. We have a lot of funding coming in over the next 3 to 5 years at the state and federal level. So I think just since I've been here for a year, even just our talent team has grown from like 8 people to 40. So we've been rocking and rolling, and it's really cool because every person that we hire, we serve 20 additional kids from that one person. So it's a really big impact on a community.
That's terrific.
And I think Joy had a question. She had her hand raised just before David started.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get a better understanding. Are these after-school programs? Is this tutoring? Where is it located?
Absolutely. So if you picture like a YMCA or a Boys and Girls Club, we do that, and we actually serve more children than they do in California. They just kind of have the national moniker that people recognize. So the difference for us is that we do it on site at the school where the children are already attending. So they get to stay in a familiar environment. They're not being bused or vanned anywhere. Their parents have a consistent place, not an extra commute at the end of the day. So typically, yeah, they're on site in the school. We started primarily serving after school But now with the influx of funding, we can do a variety of different age ranges. So we can do everything from early childhood up to high school. We do focuses like STEM, vocational studies. We'll get private funding from places like Boeing to bring in special programs. We design our own curriculum. So really the sky's the limit as far as who we can serve just based on the funding and need they have.
And do you have any programs happening in the Coachella Valley at this time?
We do, absolutely. I'm happy to provide a site list. I would have to pop it up on the screen here and it may freeze my computer because it's a big doc and I don't want to do that to y'all because it's our
That's
whole.
okay. I'm just actually just wondering more about your program. It doesn't really have to be answered here, but I'll contact you offline. It sounds like a really interesting program, and really we need other alternatives here for people. We have a lot of, hospitality workers and people that can't afford after school programs a lot of times, and it's just really, really needed. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, let's get a motion on the floor. Can we get a motion? David?
I'm very impressed. So I would like to nominate that we put this to a vote.
Okay, so you're making a motion to accept Think
Yeah,
Together.
those are the words. I forgot them. I'm sorry. It's been
Okay.
too long.
I know it's been a while. Summer brain. Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Greg Roberts. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, it's unanimous. And Allison, congratulations. Thank you. And we're happy you're here because we think that education for our youth here is so vital and important. So we're very happy that you're doing this. This is a great thing.
Thank you. We're very excited. We've been checking in every week, or at least my Palm Springs recruiter has. So I'm very excited to bring her the news. And we have a great social media page too. So feel free to follow us. And a bunch of us are on LinkedIn if you want to talk more about jobs.
Great. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Allison.
Okay, our next vendor is Danka from Bags You Love. I see that Danka is joining. And I see that Donna has joined. She'll be after Danka. Let's see if Danka gets her audio going. Actually, you know what? Let's move on to Donna first. Donna, is your video and audio working?
I'm getting ready to.
Okay.
All right, here I am.
Okay. Why don't we just, in the interest of time, why don't we move to Donna and then we'll just move back to Danka once she is fully connected. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so Donna, you want to perform as a singer at VillageFest. Tell us a little bit, just take a couple of minutes to tell us about you and your music and your performance.
all right. I'm from Nashville and I live in Nashville and I tour all over the country. I play guitar and ukulele and mandolin and I write my own music. I've got my 9th CD coming out in a few months that I just recorded out at the Joshua Tree at my friend's studio in Joshua Tree, California.
Oh.
And and I do this for a living. I've been doing this most of my life. And when I was out there, Jack was telling me about the festival. And so I thought I'd apply. I mean, it'd just be like a time or two when I'm passing through, if you approve of me. When I'm out on tour, I'd love to come play. It just looked and sounded like so much fun. And I love Palm Springs. I really enjoyed being there. And just sounded like something I'd be up for doing. I play all kinds of festivals and clubs and coffee houses and house concerts and all sorts of things. So that's what I do.
Okay.
So this would be sort of as you're in town, you would
Yes.
want, okay.
Yeah, just when I'm coming to town and I know way ahead of time. I don't know how far up you schedule, but I just thought I'd throw it out there and I'd love to come play for you when I'm in the area, so it would just be something when I'm in the area.
And Faith, that's totally feasible, right? She would just get in touch with, yeah, okay, great. Sounds
Yeah,
wonderful.
I would love to do it, and I love it out there, and I love to play, and I entertain. I play solo, but now my friend Jack would be coming with me. He lives in Cathedral City, and we would play as a duo, and it's good stuff. We have good positive music and good fun stories that I tell musically, and I'm just a folk singer, you know, and storyteller, traveling troubadour. So that's it.
Well, I think it's great to have variety in our entertainers. We have some really good people on the street and they all, you know, they kind of come intermittently. So it'd be a nice addition to that.
Thank you.
Faith, is there any issue with contention if there's too many performers already on a night when Donna's coming into town and she, how far in advance, Donna, would you be in touch with us to let us know that you'd want?
At least a month or two.
Okay.
It'd be way out. I would not, you know,
Okay.
call you, hey, I'm coming to town tomorrow. You know, no, I schedule everything way out.
Hey, I
in
just got
advance.
here this afternoon. Can I come tonight and sing? Yeah. No, I
Play.
So, Faith, that's something that you work with all the time, right? With the
Yeah, so I do try to schedule the entertainment a few months out. It just makes it easier with the schedule and to have people on. But if she lets me know, you know, if usually the entertainers will let me know in advance, they'll know when they're coming, and then I can try and work something out to get them in. So yeah.
I guess, Donna, the only thing I want you to understand is that if we're already booked with so much entertainment for the night that you want to come,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we would do our best to try to shuffle it around and see what we can do, but we would have already committed to the other artists. So you know,
No problem with
okay,
whatever,
perfect.
you know, I totally understand.
Okay. You're a traveling troubadour.
That's right. Yeah, I love what I do.
Anybody have any other questions for Donna? Okay, can we get a motion on the floor?
I move that we accept Donna into Village Fest.
Okay, and looks like it was seconded by Chris.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Congratulations, Donna. Welcome to Village Fest. I hope you enjoy it there because it is a fun venue for sure. And we look forward to hearing your tunes.
Thank you. And Faith, I'll get with you and see how far out you're scheduling. We'll set it up.
Perfect. Okay, moving back to 5H. Oh, sorry, Donna.
Oh, I just said thank you all. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Thank you for your interest in Village Fest.
Thank you.
Next up is Danka. I see that she has joined and looks like her audio is not still trying to connect. Danka, can you turn your video on? Okay, now you're muted, so you have to turn your audio on. We could see you, but we're not lip reading.
Okay, is that any better?
That's perfect.
Now you can hear me. Now I'm live.
Okay, welcome. So
Good afternoon, good evening.
take about 3 minutes to tell us about your product, and we'll have some questions, of course, and what you want to do at Village Fest, what your intention is.
Absolutely. I just recently started joined forces with a designer that is out of Costa Mesa. And we basically revamp, refurbish old vintage Louis Vuitton, Chanel designer handbags. And we would like to basically showcase that at the Village Fest. One thing that I made a mistake, I totally am in town, and I don't know if you guys were gonna do in-person meeting, but here's one of the bags. I don't know how the lighting is reflecting. This bag is literally 15. This is Alma, original vintage Louis Vuitton, completely refurbished. I mean, as you can tell, it looks brand new, changed. Shoulder straps, add a little tassel. We can do it with or without. Everything has been literally with the highest quality leather. Everything has been revamped and exchanged. And the canvas has not been changed. It's basically just polished a little bit and then resurfaced with the highest quality leather conditioner. And that's what brings the shine back in. But this bag literally looks brand new, inside and outside.
Beautiful.
So this is what we'd like to showcase. Basically our product and his services in general.
So can I have a question. You, on your application, you said that these are done in your factory. Can you tell me what the factory is?
I've been at his location. He has 2 employees. Because I mean, there's so much workload. It's unreal. People send in mail-in bags basically to be, you know, refurbished, revamped. He just has you know, sewing machines, leather quality. I mean, not just a simple, you know, sewing machine, but just sewing machine, leather all over the place. And it's not a factory, it's just a little shop. And I've forwarded emails to Faith. I hope you got him, Faith. The, you know, just the shop, how the shop in general looks like. It's just a small little leather shop with, you know, 3 stations basically where he has 3 employees. And they all work on the same thing.
So it sounds like he does some commission work, meaning people send in their bags to be revamped and restyled and get them back. As far as the stuff that you would be marketing at VillageFest, are these bags that you work on or bags that you source and then give to him and tell him what to do? Do you make the design? What's your part in it?
I buy my own bags. And they're all authentic, all guaranteed authenticity. I'm sorry.
Easy for you to say.
Yes, tongue tie. And I pick the design. Of course, you know, I get a little input from him because he is a designer and he's been doing this for over 25 years now. So I do get to listen to what he has to say, and of course, I put in a little bit of, you know, my own idea. And that's how this idea came about. And this is how we do it. But all the product is basically mine. The work is his. The work is Sergio's, the designer.
So who is the artist?
That would be, I guess, me.
Okay, and are you the person that's going to be at VillageFest selling these bags?
At the booth, yes. Along with Sergio. I was told that Sergio has to be there present, right? As a designer.
This is what we're getting at here, is that VillageFest is an artisan craft fair. So the artisans are supposed to be there. That's the whole idea, is that's what's so folksy and cool about it, is that you go there and you're buying from the artisan that actually crafted the product and made it and can explain to you how it's made and things like that. So what we don't do, and we've had to unfortunately turn down some very lovely people because they do things like their family manufactures something in Thailand, sends it to them here, and even though it's custom made and it's a family-owned business and everything else, without having the artisan here, it sort of breaks the format, if you will, or the rule set behind VillageFest. So you are involved in the design and the renovation of these bags.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're not just marketing.
I'm not marketing. Absolutely not. No, I am strictly behind the artistry of this. Okay. And the design as well. Except, I mean, I can't lie, you know, this is Louis Vuitton.
Of course.
I did not come up with this, you know. This is not
my idea. You're using that as a canvas. You're using the original Louis Vuitton bag as a canvas. You're designing what needs to be done to it to change it, to turn it into a new, different kind of item, rather than just replacing the zipper, buying the zipper from the Louis Vuitton vendor and replacing the zipper and putting the new Louis Vuitton lock on, right? You're not doing that. What you're really doing is—
Thank you.
Okay. So,
you helped me tremendously. Yes, thank you.
Well,
That's
I've gone over this in my head a number of times because it's something that jumped out at me when I first read the package of what we're going to be reviewing tonight, to be honest. I was a little concerned about the licensing because Louis Vuitton is highly licensed, as is Chanel. While they sell YAG Louis Vuitton bags all around the world, I've been to so many places. I've been to Rome and seen it happening, and a lot of places where, but you know, as the police come, everybody picks up the bags and runs because it can even be an international crime sometimes, right? Depending on who's making the complaint. So it can be serious. So now you say that you guarantee the authenticity, which means that they're serial numbered and you actually have all of that information.
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
Jasmine, the one question, sorry, Greg, just give me a moment here. The one question that I would raise is, do we need to run this past the city attorney? Because we had at one time, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, but it might have been you who actually enlightened us on this. We had somebody who was using a Mickey Mouse design. And
Yes,
we were
correct.
very concerned about the licensing, and they were not licensed to use it. Now with these designer bags, there is a licensing to, I don't know if it's licensing, but there's permission to sell it, right? You have to be registered to sell it with Louis Vuitton if you're selling new bags. I don't know about resale bags. I know they sell them everywhere. I know there's a lot of boho chic bags like this that are Gucci and Louis Vuitton that have, lots of fringe and all kinds of stuff on them, all over the place. They're on places like Poshmark and eBay, and a lot of companies who would be subjected to copyright infringement issues, litigation, if you will, if it weren't right. So,
yeah, Dan, I'd like to follow on that too, Duncan. I would be concerned that you have permission from Louis Vuitton and Chanel to use their name, which is totally trademarked and protected. You're also taking their patented products and changing them. What guarantee could you have to the public buying these bags or looking at these bags that you're authorized to use their name and sell a version of their product?
That is a good question. I really don't have any type of authorization. But selling even online, and I'm not the only one, there are about total 5 companies cross country that are selling, not in Palm Springs. And this is why I have chosen VillageFest, because, there's not even one vendor basically doing that. But there are 5 companies doing same thing that I'm doing, and they take their business to Vegas. I think there is a show that is coming up in December. Rodeo, I think it's convention. And there's a company called vintageboho.com, and they're basically at that event every single year. I never search to see if I need any type of licensing, but this company has been at this event, particular event in Vegas for 5 years in row, and they never got scared off or asked to leave, or God forbid worse.
Yeah,
But if
Jasmine and
that's
Faith,
something you want me to do, then I will look into it.
yeah, Jasmine and Faith, I believe that the city needs to take a look at this, giving the trademarks and the brand names that they would be marketing, just to make sure that there's no liability involved of using those names without permission.
Greg, can I add something?
Sure.
I'm concerned. I'm going to try. I'm not going to even guess. What is your price range and what does your inventory look like? Because I have a. Go ahead.
I have total about 20 bags in my inventory, and I was kind of told, just from advice per my designer, not to have anything kind of like overloaded, because you don't want to have booth cluttered. Then you don't want to expose yourself to any crime or anything like that. So the softer, the less you have, it's going to make it more classier. So I have total 20, and I also wanted to ask you, what would be the limit that you would want to see? Like, would it be 5 or maybe 10 pieces, or should I go with all 20? But that's all I have in my inventory, and I really don't want to. I don't want to clutter the booth.
No, of course not, and we understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about the value of the inventory, and if there is potential, just a word gets out and 20 people show up and things started getting picked up behind your back, or I don't know what our liability or your liability would be, what your insurance might cover.
Absolutely. The price range, I didn't cover that. It's ranging anywhere between $700 to $1,900. Insurance, that's a good question. I do have my business insurance. That would cover it, I think, on my end, because I did make sure that I get the right policy, just for my inventory. So you would not be liable for any of that. I don't know if you need anything in writing.
I don't know either. I'm not the expert. I think the attorney needs to be addressed, or contact you. That's my.
If I could just jump in here, I was doing a little searching online while we were all chatting here. So the way some of these companies do it, because I know that they're out there and I know people sell them, so I wouldn't venture to say you have no right to sell a used Louis Vuitton bag altered, right? Because I know that's done and it's done a lot. There's so much of it online that it would have been stopped by now, right? However, they do it with a disclaimer, and the disclaimer is, I'm going to read to you from Vintage Boho. Vintage Boho Bags is not affiliated with Louis Vuitton, the Louis Vuitton brand, or Louis Vuitton Malatier SA in any way. These products are used, previously owned, or secondhand Louis Vuitton bags purchased lawfully on the secondary market and lawfully enhanced by the addition of artistic or ornamental designs. Vintage Boho Bags does not claim any rights in the LV symbol, the Louis Vuitton trademark, or any other related mark. So I would say that, you know, we would have to run it by the attorney just to cross our T's and dot our I's.
Absolutely.
But with something like this, I would say that what you would have to do is your signage probably should include a disclaimer right at the booth. So there's nobody coming to make any claims at the booth, number one. And secondly, to say that you're not selling Louis Vuitton bags, you're selling boho chic, repurposed designer handbags. That has to be your approach, not we're selling embellished Louis Vuitton bags, because as soon as you say Louis Vuitton, you're marketing Louis Vuitton, right? And I am not a trademark lawyer by any means, but it stands to reason that, you know, looking at the other sites, it seems like they all have some sort of a disclaimer like that. So I would say that that's something, and maybe even have your attorney help you word it in a very legible, easy little sign that would be at your booth. You could put in a little picture frame right on the table and make sure there's two of you there. Like you said, you would bring Sergio with you. So should you be approved here, you would, it would be advisable to have two people at the booth because you have very high priced items. All right.
Absolutely.
So I think that probably answers to some of the questions we have, but other than that, I think we have to run it by the attorney.
Can I ask something? So I understand what you're all saying about this, but I wanted to ask, what category actually does this fall under, seeing as she is the designer, but not the actual crafter of the product?
It could fall under vintage.
Could it fall under collectible? Is that what it's going under? Is under collectible?
I don't know if it's collectible or if it's vintage. I know that we had a category for vintage. Help us out, Jasmine.
Yeah, there is. Are they vintage though?
No, I had her under arts and crafts because he does alter the bags and he will be at the booth with her. So they are under arts and crafts.
Okay, so we can do it that way too. I don't know.
Yeah, because that
sorry.
Yeah,
I just need to come
because the vintage category has to be 20 years, or I mean 50 years or older for the vintage.
Oh, forget vintage. Okay.
Thank you.
It's a good question, Joy. Thank you.
Can I make a motion that we provisionally accept this vendor based on her getting the appropriate signage and our running it past the city attorney?
And pending legal review by the city attorney, yes.
Right.
Yeah, that would be your motion, I think. Jasmine, what's your thought on that, or Faith?
I think that's a good approach to it. We will take, staff will take that application, present it to the city attorney's office with the board's concerns and see what response we get.
And I'll be honest here, I had way more concerns before the meeting than I do now. Right? I had more concerns when I first read it, because I read it as refurbished Louis Vuitton bags, and I would probably lose that vernacular. And I think I would use something more in line with repurposed vintage designer handbags embellished for boho chic design or something like that.
Thank you so much. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm actually going to word that on my website as well. Yeah. So it makes it more clear. Thank you so much.
So can you restate your motion, Celia, please?
I make a motion that we provisionally accept this vendor based on her getting appropriate signage about her product and also having the board, having the city council, I'm sorry, city attorney review this applicant. Okay. So it would be a provisional acceptance.
Okay. Anybody want to second that? I will. All right, I will second that motion. Can we get a vote? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One opposed, Greg. Any abstain? Okay, so we have one abstain, one opposed, and three affirmative. Okay, Faith, you have that right? Okay. We have to have a vote of, does that count, Jasmine or Faith?
Yeah, it's majority, so yes.
It is majority. Okay, so it's 3 out of 5, but it doesn't have to be the 4 for the quorum. All right, gotcha. Okay, 4's the quorum. Gotcha. Okay, so congratulations, Danka. Provisionally, we'll say.
Thank you. That's a
I
good
think the
step.
stuff you're doing is very classy from what you showed us from that, as opposed to some of them, to be honest, I've seen some online that are very tacky because they're embellished to death with turquoise and all kinds of stuff. It's like, you can't make it look like a cowboy badge. But
Yes.
anyway, what you're doing is lovely. And like I said, I had some concerns earlier. I think after hearing what you're actually doing, I feel a little bit better about it, but we would be much more comfortable with a city attorney review to make sure the city is not in any way liable or at any risk. That's all. That's the only thing.
Absolutely understandable. Thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
really
you for
appreciate
understanding
it,
that.
and compliments and ideas.
All right. Bye-bye.
So
All right,
much.
thanks,
Bye.
Danka.
Thanks, Faith, for coordinating all of this. I sincerely appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Sure. Okay, so provisional. Attorney review. Okay, market as repurposed. Okay, got it. All right, so it looks like we have Jose. Jose, you are from,
Hello.
help me.
Yep. The resin artwork.
Oh, the very last one, Eternal
Yes.
Clarity, that's who you are. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, apologies. All right, so Jose's company, Eternal Clarity, it's arts and crafts category, resin artwork, lamps, spheres, flowers, and assorted pieces. Jose, take about up to 3 minutes to just tell us about your product, what you make, what you do, and if you can show us some examples of it, please, and then we'll open the floor for questions to you.
For sure. Thank you. Well, I started crafting with resin about 3 months ago, so this whole artistic journey is very new to me. However, I've hit the ground running because a lot of the techniques I'm self-taught and have come to me very fluently. It almost feels like I've done this in a past lifetime. I've gotten into a few art galleries as of late, as of a few days ago. I've also gotten into a boutique shop in Newport Beach. So a lot of my work is really liked, and I can show you some of the stuff.
Art galleries here in town.
What's that?
Are any of the art galleries here in town?
No, any galleries there in Palm Springs?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been to
Okay,
Palm
no, I
Springs.
had to know that because if they were a merchant downtown, then you'd be competing with them. But sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, then Newport Beach.
Okay.
So this is like one of my latest ocean pieces. This is like yeah, let me see how much the camera can capture.
There you go. That's good.
So just to give you an example. So this is just a cube. I also do rectangles in the ocean form. This is one of them.
Okay.
And I source all of my stuff myself. I collect the shells. 4 a.m. in the morning, I go seaweed hunting. This is one of the, I'll show you some of the best stuff that I've produced lately. These are lamps as well. This is a pyramid with glasswork inside. So there's a flower in here.
Oh, that's very
Beautiful.
Those will sell. People love stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and essentially everything that I make can turn into a lamp. So that I have cubes, I have spheres. Let me show you. These are also flower holders that I create. So these are like flowers in there.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's a vase. Really cool.
And you just started this, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
And some of these are like higher end pieces as well. These are dandelions within a pyramid.
Oh yeah.
So a
Have you
lot of like,
preserved them first, or they just are preserved by the fact that they're inside of the resin?
a little bit of both. I usually let things organically dry,
Okay,
and then I either mold them into a sphere. Like this is a sphere within a pyramid, so you can kind of see the shape.
oh, I see.
And like I said, in essence, all of it, even the cubes, even the ocean cube. Let me show you how it comes to life with the light underneath. So you could put a blue light and light up the whole ocean cube, and it just like makes the light travel very easily. So it makes beautiful bedside lamps, desk lamps, anything for like foyer, on top of chimneys, entrance tables, just beautiful decorations I've been able to create.
So do you sell the lamp bases separately? I mean, so you can, you just buy the lamp base and then any of your acrylic pieces can go on that.
Correct. So I usually like bundle, I could either bundle them or like I also have, these are harder to find, the long LED lights, but they're beautiful as well. So I do sell them. I do have them.
Okay.
And since the festival is a little bit later, it will make that effect really pop out in, you know, in the transition of the nighttime. So
how do these hold up outdoors in the bright sunshine? Because there's a lot of outdoor living here. This is all about outdoor living. And
yeah, so I
indoor furniture outdoors here. I mean, it's crazy.
The same thing. I pay a little bit more for the resin. I use very high quality resin, so it withstands the heat and it will never yellow. So it's UV resistant.
Okay. That was my question.
Yeah, UV resistant and heat resistant. And I also, for the sake of whenever I sell something, I let it sit out in the sun first to make sure that there's sometimes it creates hot spots. So basically, you know, you just got to make sure that
if there's moisture inside or something. Yeah,
exactly. That depending on what you use and everything. And I've also created like some other sculptures that are in the works right now. So it's getting better and better. Like the scale is getting bigger and just more beautiful, and the ideas are just flowing. So I'm very happy.
What is your price range?
So anywhere between pyramids start around, I mean, I usually have pieces anywhere between 25 and up to $250. So 25 to 250. I have an item or a set for every budget.
And have you personally found these? These are all natural things. You wouldn't put like a plastic boat or a fake seahorse or something in there, would you? Or
I'm not opposed to it, but I don't, to be honest, like this is the art snob in me. I don't like the look of plastic within plastic. If anything, I mean, to each their own. I'm not opposed to it, but I like more. This is like an Italian flower. This is a Murano glass piece within the pyramid.
Wow.
So I like using
gorgeous.
Really beautiful.
Very nice.
Really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. And the same thing. I use a lot of marbles. I use a lot of I mean, I have so many more. In the 3 months I've done about 300 pieces. So I've invested a lot of money in resin.
I guess the reason I would ask that is we've had experiences before where somebody made candles that were beautiful and unique, and then they started looking inappropriate or whatever. I just think it's, if you market yourself as being all natural and pure, straight from nature, it's a very, very special thing that you can represent, and I think would fit in well.
For sure.
Your prices too.
What's that?
Especially your prices too.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. You know, some people, like I've tried a few markets, you know, I can't undersell the product either, just because a lot of time and talent goes into it. And also resin is pricey. That's what I tell people. It's more expensive than glass. And I mean, anything can go wrong in the process. So whenever anything is completed, you know, it's a big accomplishment, and I'll let the artwork speak for itself. And I think I'm hoping that I'll find a great market there within the Palm Springs community and the arts district there and everything.
Good.
Are you wanting to be on seasonally or year round?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it might be a little bit harder for me to be out there when it's super hot. So I recently just moved out to Ontario. So I live with my partner in Riverside, and I recently bought a house for my parents in Ontario. So I'm on this side of town now. I used to live in Inglewood. So Palm Springs is only like an hour away now, I think, an hour 15 if that. So definitely, I would definitely like to see how it goes. If I could, I mean, if it'd be an honor to start as soon as possible, if I could start whenever the orientation or whatever the next steps are. I have everything. I have tables, I have an umbrella, I have pretty much everything to get, just to set up a pop-up.
Okay.
It's a beautiful product, very unique. We have nothing like it on the street.
Very nice.
Excellent. And like I said, this is a tiny fraction of all of the stuff I have. I have towers, I have spheres. I literally just I woke up from a quick nap and these are all like the pieces that are around the house. But if you'd like me to go fetch more, I can go downstairs.
So I think we have a pretty good idea of what you can do.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
the shapes are largely geometric shapes, or do you hand mold any of them?
No, you can't really hand mold resin just because it heats up. In the process of it, it literally, I don't know how hot it gets. I think it goes up to like 180 degrees. So you have to be very careful whenever it's setting. So
Well, as does wax, but David's thing that he brought up honestly is that we did have a vendor that some of the products started to show up as adult products, and we don't want that at Village Fest. It doesn't really work at Village Fest.
No, I
It's a
wouldn't.
family event, a lot of children. It's a public.
No, yeah,
Okay,
I
cool.
would
All right.
definitely.
That was why he was asking that, though. I think, right, David?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah. So that just to understand.
I mean, I definitely think there could be. I mean, there are ideas that could, but I would never take it to.
There
That
would be some kind of a mold. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Right. I mean, no, but the artistic brain in me sure wants to go play. But this is I see any vendor event as a family event, so I would never compromise the dignity.
Beautiful work, I have to say. It's so and it's very impressive that you just learned this. Right? That
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Jose?
I just want to know if he does spheres too. Do you do spheres?
Oh, absolutely. I have tons of sets. Do you want me to go fetch one right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. That's right, because we're still actually waiting on Johnny Drummond from CV. What is CVS PCA? Coachella Valley.
It's the animal.
Oh, okay.
Animals prevention.
Isn't it Coachella Valley SPCA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we hear from Johnny at this point, Faith? Okay. And
I haven't heard from John, that one, or
Josefa?
correct. Yeah, I haven't heard from that one either. So.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I made him go downstairs.
As long as he wasn't driving to Long Beach to get it, then we can wait because he's
right.
our best vendor at this point. But then we're going to move on because we have want to talk a little bit about what the committee has been doing.
Right. So let's let him see.
Yeah. So these are some of the spheres that I've done. These are like ocean pieces as well.
Oh wow.
I also do. So this is a mismatching set, but you get the idea. These are candle holders as well. So the votives go on top.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm coming down to get some of those.
You have a good
Yes,
eye.
please.
You have a very good eye.
I'm
All
ready
right.
to make a motion.
Go for it, Greg.
I move that we accept Eternal Clarity to the Village Fest.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right. Oh, everybody seconded.
Yeah.
Let's give it to Chris. Go ahead. Okay. Chris seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstains? No. Congratulations, Jose. Welcome to the Village Fest family.
Thank
We're
you so
very
much.
excited to have, again, yet another unique product. This is what Village Fest is about. Very unique artisan craft products, not something that you can go and buy at the 99-cent store or, tie-dye t-shirts, no disparaging to tie-dye t-shirts, but it's not just that. It's really about unique pieces. So we love this. Know that if you change your product line, not, expand on it, like, all right, you're already doing candle holders, do more, fine. But if you should turn it into something totally different where you're doing, I'm at a loss for saying it, but you know, some kind of resin dishware or something, right? You'd have to come back to us to rejury to add that. You weren't on earlier, but there was someone who came back to add on ceramic hand painted pumpkins that she does for this season now, when she's an arts and crafts vendor and she does a lot of watercolor pieces. So she's watercoloring now ceramic pieces just for the holidays. So she came back to rejury for that. And it's a very simple process, but just understand that you can't really change your product line or add something that's outside of the product line, if you will. Okay.
No, I understand.
Perfect. Okay.
We'll all be down to buy them for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
It'll be the most expensive paperweight I ever got. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Thank you so much. I've been waiting for this moment.
Congratulations.
I sent the application to Faith like about, I want to say like a month ago, and she's like, hold your horses, we're not back yet. And here, let me show you one more. This one's beautiful. This one's like, these are desert flowers with black marbles.
Oh,
Cool.
Wow.
gorgeous.
Really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and
That's beautiful.
these
are
with the
gonna do
long LED light, just it takes it to a whole nother level. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jose.
Thank you so much. And you'll work with Faith on going through orientation and getting set up when to start and all that, okay?
Okay, cool. So I'm good to log off?
Yep.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Jose.
this opportunity. Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Our pleasure. Okay. Okay, now we're moving on to unfinished business. And David, if I'm not mistaken, I think you had something you wanted to talk about in unfinished business.
Just with the little break and everybody's busy schedule and my new job, we haven't done too much, to be honest. We haven't forgotten about the need for what we're hoping would be a tool to help not only recruit, but retain our vendors and help them be successful in their businesses, because that's what they are. They're there to hopefully make money and make a name and reputation for themselves. One of the first things we started with, at least Greg and I have worked together several times on these in our one-on-one meetings, is starting out with a survey. Maybe make it something that is done annually or every other year that, first of all, can obtain accurate information on who's in charge, who's the contact. Did somebody, fall out of your world, or do we have different websites and such? And then comes, how are we doing? Ask them, have they gotten the services and the assistance and the guidance from the city or the staff, or how was their onboarding experience? How was their first couple of weeks or months? Do they have any suggestions for us? And possibly, would they be willing to be partnered with a new vendor in a kind of a mentor program?
So sort of like an accelerator type of program?
Something like that. Just, hey, when I started out, I didn't know this, and it really made a difference to our success as a booth. If we were able to, if it was offered and people took it upon themselves to say, I'd like to be a mentor, or I would love some more guidance because I'm doing this on my first time. But I think to be able to start the process, we would want to get consensus of everybody that this would be a valuable tool, that we keep the data and we start comparing it year to year, and somehow come up with a satisfaction rating or a score or something that says, it's always something to improve upon. But Greg, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I will. I've got some slides if the group
Please
is
do.
interested.
I knew you were on top of things.
So can I just ask, I just want to make sure that I understand this, because I think I do. So we're talking about possibly developing and offering, especially to some of the less experienced vendors, a coaching / counseling / accelerator type of offering. And you want to reach out to our vendors first with some kind of a survey to see if there's an appetite for it. Is that right?
I believe so. I think there's another element to it that we don't feel that we're all on the same page yet, that we've come into these meetings and have different expectations or different questions, or maybe are not 100% clear as we add new members to this committee and this council. But if we all had an opportunity to say, this is what makes a really good presentation, and this is what does not, and
Yeah,
are we all on the same page?
I like it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Greg. I like that. I like the idea.
Greg, please take it from there.
Oh, okay. Jasmine Faith, I'm going to share my screen, I hope. So if you can help me with that.
In the meantime, David, John Bolton was on this subcommittee, no?
That's what we were told.
Okay, so I have to ask Jasmine Faith, one of you. I don't even see John's name for the roll call. There are 6 members now plus Joy, 6 voting members plus Joy. Has John resigned?
He did. Yeah, he sent us a notice in, I believe, early August.
Nice when somebody sent me an email.
And
Wow.
sent it to the city clerk's office as well. I'm sorry, Dan, I thought he mentioned that he had sent it to you.
No, I didn't receive anything from him.
So I thought you would bring it up during today's meeting, so I apologize. Yes, he did. I think his work is just picking up.
Yep. No, that's
And
understandable.
the timing wasn't really working. I did mention that maybe when things got a little, he kind of got into a rhythm once everything was open on his end, if he would come back, and he said he would consider it. So hopefully he does consider that in the next year or so.
Well, then the question I have, I'm sorry, Greg, while you're setting up here, is that typically, if someone resigns, we have an open board position, and then that goes in front of, I think this year it will be Grace and Jeff, am I right, on council or doing the appointments?
I do believe so, but they are not interviewing, and they will not be interviewing, I think, for a period of time. I think they're gonna maintain the boards that we currently have and hold off on interviewing new participants for, I would probably suggest at least to the end of the year.
Okay, and you're sure of that? Because I'm only asking because I met with Grace Garner last week, and I did talk about this, and we were talking about other commissions as well. And she said, I believe Jeff and I are going to be interviewing soon for those.
I am not sure because we've had a
make sure it
change.
doesn't fall through the cracks.
Yeah, I'm not sure because of the change in city management, but from my last conversation, which the new interim city manager was part of, that was the plan.
Okay, but yeah, I had asked Justin when we had the appreciation dinner meeting, and he said that they were still working it out, but they're thinking about culling back some of the sizes of some of the commissions. I don't think ours is oversized, but there's some that are. My concern with that is always meeting quorum, right?
Right.
So today we have 1 person absent, so we made it, but we can easily break quorum by having a couple people out.
For sure.
You know, so that's why I'm worried. So I just want to make sure, because rather than just keep a position open, if we are granted the opportunity to maintain the number of people on the board, the 7-person board, I would prefer, no offense to John, but rather than keep that open in case he wants to come back, it's like when you resign from a job, someone else is hired. So I would like to just confirm that that he actually is submitting a formal resignation. If not, then of course it's going to be held to absentee policy. But if he is, then we want to find out if we are granted the permission to replace him. And again, with the concern of quorum. Okay.
Right. So the intent of the position may not get an interview had nothing to do with John as an individual. It had to do with the current uniformity that the city is trying to create with its commissions and boards.
Yeah.
And some of that had to do with size. So I think the intent at the time was to keep everybody at a standstill, all commissions and boards, until they could actually solidify a policy that was relevant across the board for commissions and boards. But I will follow back up. We do have a new city attorney, and I'm sorry, a new city clerk. Yep. And with Justin's absence, I'm not sure if that's still the direction that the city is heading.
Yeah, that was
follow up on
Justin's thing, big time. Okay, all right. So at this point, we haven't accepted John's resignation, or he hasn't tendered a formal resignation. You just
You're
went
muted, you're
silent.
muted.
What happened?
Sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah.
I will follow up with that with the city clerk's office, the same
Okay.
time I'm inquiring about the
Okay,
possibility of interviewing to fulfill that. I'll
so
do
let's
that.
not, so if we're not gonna be able to backfill it anyway, let's not push them. If we're sort of in this gray area, then maybe I can live with that. 5 minutes ago, I was feeling like I don't want to keep open positions in case people want to come back, because
Sure.
that puts us at, you know, at a loss. Okay, understood.
Thank
Sorry, Greg, the floor was yours and I'm giving it back to you.
Okay. Can everybody see the screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Let me make slides out of it. Okay, if you have any questions, stop me as we go through. Let's see here.
At the very bottom, you see 3 icons. It's the third icon over next to 27%.
Say that again, Dan, I'm sorry.
At the very bottom where it says 27%,
Yeah. I don't
the
see,
icon just to the left of it, I think that one is what brings up the slideshow, so the whole thing is a slide.
I don't see that. Let me,
It's probably off screen for you.
oh, okay.
Go over, no, left.
So make it bigger?
No. No. Go left again, after the 40%, there, click.
Okay.
Click. No, click on the thing next to 40%, that one.
Slide to show?
Yep,
Okay. You see it?
unclick the other one that's clicked. There's a yellow one clicked now. You see where it's yellow?
Here?
Yeah, unclick that. I don't know why it's giving us that only instead of the slideshow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't.
Column with the under clipboard and slides, there's an X. You can get rid of that.
Okay.
See where the word slides is?
Yes.
There's an X underneath that word.
Just
Uh-oh.
close your window. He did the wrong accent.
Oh, sorry.
Just share again. Share again.
There's a
I'm sorry.
there's a view tab, Greg. See if there might be something in there too on that drop down menu.
You have to share a screen again though, because we lost view of it. It's not shared now.
Well.
See, if we were meeting in person, he could just hold this up and we could all see it.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, I think I killed PowerPoint altogether. Bear with me 1 second. I'll get there.
Jasmine,
back to that.
I was gonna say, is there any movement on getting together in person? Are we still stuck in we're remodeling the room?
I have not inquired, but I am inquiring right now with the city clerk's office about Dan's request, so I'll throw that in there.
Okay, so now I'm back to it. And if I do
Share screen.
share screen. Okay,
Then you have to select the tile on your screen. So we don't
share.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you see anything?
Okay. You see at the very top, home, insert, design, animation, slideshow.
Yes,
View.
yes.
Go to view. Last one. All
Okay. I'm there.
right, hold on. On the very left. see
Yes,
normal, all the way.
Yeah.
All the way left, down. Okay.
Yes.
You see slideshow next to that?
yes.
That's the one that'll do it.
You see it?
Still looks the same.
Maybe that slideshow tab instead. I don't know.
Go to the slideshow tab at the top next to review. View, review, there, yeah.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
From beginning, click on from beginning and see what happens, because that's start slideshow. Why is it not doing it? Well, I don't know about anyone else. I happen to have a large screen on my computer, so I can actually read it as he goes through it if we keep it.
Well,
like
let me walk us
In the
through
middle.
it.
Review slideshow.
Say that again, David.
It's helpful, but
Is this on an iPad or on a tablet, Greg? Is that why?
No, it's on an Android device.
That's why, because it's on a portable, it's not on a desktop.
No, it's on a laptop.
But you said an Android device. A laptop would be a Microsoft device, no?
Let me try one more thing. Well,
there you
Oh, there
go.
we go.
there.
There.
Well,
Oh, you're there?
hallelujah.
Yay.
Good,
God,
good.
wow. All right, there we go.
Okay, I wanted to give a sense of what our charter is, and this comes directly from our website that you can read these words on your own, but it just gives us a sense of what we should think about. As David and I met several times to talk about this, we talked about really and truly who are our customers, and probably there's three categories. There's visitors and tourists. There's locals who are escorting visitors and tourists. And we felt like these two categories really had no real special expectation about Village Fest, that they were just coming because it was a fun thing to do and a good thing to see. And the third category is the locals, the residents who come and may be looking for something specific. So that gives us a sense of who we're talking about. And our goals of those customers should be to promote the artisans and vendors that we approve, to bring customers downtown to the downtown corridor and merchants, and then to increase revenue for the city. We went out and took a look at what makes some of the most popular street fairs, artisan fairs, successful, and what those attributes are. And one of the attributes is self-improvement products. That seems to attract a lot of people. Healthier products that would make you more attractive, products that are trendy and stylish, products that would increase your skills, and products that would make you a better parent. So keeping those in mind, those are some of the attributes of successful street fairs. Also, improved perception products, attire, the way we dress and the way we want to be perceived, whether you want to be wealthy and wear expensive jewelry, or whether you just want someone to know what you're into and what you like. Those are issues that the consuming public is interested in. Gift giving. A lot of people, particularly the vendors, tourists, or the visitors and tourists, and maybe even some of the locals, are coming to look for gifts to give. So that is a category that we probably should give some consideration to as to the value of the vendor community at Village Fest. Weddings. I mean, I think everybody knows wedding venues have become particularly big here in Palm Springs, especially for bridal parties. And you see them all over the downtown area. So that's an area where we might want to think about as we interview vendors and add vendors to Village Fest. And lastly, party planning and entertaining. The things, just like some of these resin things we just saw, that bring things into our home that makes our home unique, and helps us enjoy the things about our home in Palm Springs that we love. The last is purposeful products. And these are things, and I think the takeaway here is the bottom bullet point. Just because you can make something doesn't mean you should. So we want to maybe focus on approving vendors who are bringing something of value and have a purpose and would drive others to come take a look and see and purchase ultimately. So keeping that in mind, back in May, we asked Faith for some data of the Village Fest vendors by category. And again, this was data coming back from going back to May, so it's old and it's not current with the numbers. But if you take a look at this chart, this is by Village Fest vendors by category. The biggest by far is arts and crafts. And in May, there were 82, and that compromised 55% of the vendors on the street. The second biggest was the food service vendors. There were 17 or 11%. And then the farmers market, there were 15 and 10%. Now, I think here's the interesting thing that I've observed, and I trust you have some observation as well. The crowds tend to gather around the food service and the farmers market. Those two areas seem to be the most popular as far as attracting people who want to buy a good and service. And there always are constriction walking down the street as you go through these. So David and I talked about if these are truly the most popular categories at VillageFest, do we have them in the right location? Should they be spread out? Should they be moved so that there isn't this constriction and crowd of people? For example, the food service people, what if we moved them to where the farmers market people are so that they could spread out into the park and have places to stop and eat? Would that bring a more comfort level to what's going on and not make people feel frustrated because they can't find tables and things like that? The rest of the categories, there's probably really no surprises there. 9% entertainers or 14. They tend to be rather popular too. In fact, the one who's playing the violin with the fan blowing his hair, wearing the kilt, always seems to have a big crowd and is very popular.
Yep.
So there's a message there. I mean, that's something we probably want to maybe consider how we position him and how we bring people into the process and have them look at other things. The last slide I wanted to show you, and then we can have some discussion, is if you take the categories and break them down into subcategories, and again, this is data from May that Faith sent out. Well, we have a lot of decor, we have a lot of clothing, and we have a lot of art. Jewelry's pretty big as well. The question for this group is this the mix we want? Is this what we want to promote? Is this what will support our goals of bringing people downtown to VillageFest, to bringing people to the downtown corridor and visiting the merchants along the street, and to increase revenue in Palm Springs? I think, and from conversations David and I had, maybe we're a little heavy in some of these areas. And what we don't know is any more drill down. For example, is the bath and body soap, or is it facial scrub, or what is it? Is the jewelry turquoise jewelry? Is it handbags? Is it whatever? So again, these are just some of the data of the vendors we're working with. And the question for our group, I think, is can we, or how would we improve VillageFest knowing what we know now, either through logistics, moving things around, either through growing certain categories and shrinking other categories. And that's really what I wanted to bring to the group. So again, maybe we need to collect more data now that we have way more vendors and take a look and see what impact that has on this. But there's a story to tell here. And I think we have a tremendous marketing program for the city of Palm Springs and our vendor community and our crafts community. And to do the best with it that we can, I think will only improve everything all the way around. So that's what we worked on and wanted to share with you all.
Greg and David, I'd like to say this is a absolutely fantastic presentation. This shows a lot of work that you two have put into this. And I think we all appreciate what you've done. It's just fabulous.
Well, thanks, Celia. I hope we can come up with some opportunities here, to make this even better, to take it to improve the process and make the VillageFest an even better experience for everyone.
I have to say, I'm very impressed with, it is truly an analysis, right? as opposed to we have these 3 ideas and let's just make those ideas happen, right? I think what you have here is a foundation that you can use, like you said. So you might have to update the numbers, right? But you can pull that and just plug it in here. So I hope this is built in a way that you can do that and it's not a whole lot of manual work, so that we can look at this periodically. It might be worth having a quarterly or a semi-annually look at this same data over again and compare it to how it changed and watch trends and things like that. I have a question. What's the difference between art and decor? Like the gentleman with the resin things, would that be decor or is that art?
Well, good question, Dan, and it's only as good as the categories and subcategories that we classify our vendors at. So I think the first start is for us to create and standardize how we classify and categorize vendors, so we know where everybody falls. But to answer your question, go ahead.
I was gonna say that that's definitely something we maybe had made an assumption on, and if we said, here's your categories vendors, what would you like to be referred to?
Or where do you think that your product or service?
Exactly.
How would you categorize yourself?
All I wanted to say, first of all, Greg does an amazing job on presentations and PowerPoint and color. I only started this out because I met a few vendors who we approved and they tried it and they kind of disappeared. Yeah. And I always think of that as an employee that just doesn't show up to work anymore. You say, what happened? Can you tell us something that we could have done better? Or, and that's where this started in my mind. And then I think it grew into a possibility to continue to recruit new vendors with these programs that we can offer them.
That's a great point. When we have a vendor who stops coming, do they just ghost us and they're gone? Or do we actually know, Jasmine or Faith, do you know when a vendor says, I'm not going to be coming anymore? Do they tell you?
Some do, and some will just pay for the month. And if it doesn't, if they're not selling their product, then they just won't pay for the next month. And that's how I know.
So once they either tell you or don't pay, do you guys feel it would be appropriate for us to attempt to conduct, if you will, an exit interview with them to understand? Because that's what we do in the business world, right? When we hire people and they leave, that's where David's coming from. I know that because he's an HR guy. Agree. Yeah, so an exit interview, and it would really be for our benefit, but in some cases, it may be that there was something that was bothering them or something that they didn't know could change or be made better for them, and maybe they want to stay after that. Like, so, it could be more than one purpose to have the exit interview. Do you guys think something like that is actually feasible?
I absolutely 100% do.
There is an exit poll of some kind that the Economic Development Department has. Maybe it's something that you could use that as a template and work from there. It's almost more important to know why somebody left than why somebody's staying.
Yes, absolutely. Good point. I didn't even know about that exit poll. That's interesting. How could we put these gentlemen in touch?
You could contact Jay Verada at the city's Economic Development Department.
Are you guys familiar with Jay Verada?
No,
I'm not. No.
Super
if you
good.
ever watch
He's a
any
good
of
dude.
the council meetings, he usually speaks at the council meetings. Yeah. Sorry, Joy, go ahead.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and I'm sure that if he still has that available, that he would help with that.
So I love that idea. I also like something else you said really struck me, that there's some people that are a draw, like the violin guy, right? I know that. Well, maybe, Faith, does this rock your world of all the organization that you do for each week? If we were to say, okay, we should probably rotate, we should start to make note of the very popular entertainers that actually have a draw and start to circulate them week to week, or appearance to appearance, if you will, in different parts of VillageFest, so they draw us down more to give an advantage to those vendors as well, right? Because otherwise, like like if the cookie vendor is always next to the violin guy, they're gonna sell a lot of cookies. Even for people that are not looking for cookies, because they're standing around watching this guy play violin, they see the cookie, they smell it, they want to eat one,
So
right?
you're talking about rotating the entertainers? Is that what?
Possibly entertainers or whatever has a draw. You know, I know we
I mean-
mentioned the food vendors. I know that there's an issue dispersing the food vendors across all of Village Fest because of the smells and the smoke, because some of them are grilling and stuff like
And the
that.
restaurants
Plus
that
the
don't
water,
want
plus
food
the
in
electric.
front of them.
Yeah,
And
and then
there's
the
also
restaurants.
restaurants, like we couldn't put them on Museum Drive because that's all food down there. So that wouldn't be a possibility, but the entertainers I do rotate, and like the entertainer that you're talking about is Marston. That's the only corner he can play on.
Why is that?
No, because he was too loud for the corner of Arenas, which is,
Oh,
so he can only play on Talkowitz.
So the entertainment can be very similar to
Yes.
a food service vendor, where we could put them in a location and then it doesn't work for either the neighboring vendors or it doesn't work for the merchants that they're impacted. So Marston is one of those. A lot of our entertainers are very similar, that we kind of find a location that works for them and then they get rotated in that location at different weeks, but
Okay.
mostly because we don't want to negatively impact merchants. So
Sense.
Marston, we did receive a lot of phone calls when we tried to place him on the very north end, on Arenas, and on the very south end. So he has come to only work at Talkowitz Canyon because it's the only corner where we do not get complaints from. So the
Okay.
problem is the community and the people who are visiting Village Fest love him. However, the merchants on the street do not. So
Well, let's
trying to
think of
find
it a
that
different-
balance is a bit of work of ensuring that we're providing the service to our visitors, but that we're also making sure that we are good neighbors to all of our merchants. So it's very similar to the food. It does take a little bit of trial and error to find the appropriate locations for some of these vendors. And entertainment, again, very similar to food.
Let's think of it a different way. We know that food service, farmers market, and entertainment are probably the most popular categories. And that's where the people go. And it's like the movie, if you build it, they'll come. They come to those businesses. What I think we need to consider is making the experience for the customers a little bit more pleasurable and not making it so crowded, and make sure there's places for them to sit and,
Yeah.
and welcome them in more than making it a constriction and I have to stand in long lines. And that's kind of where I was going with this. I realize you have, other category or other things that you need to consider about how you place people. We know the people will come. Let's make the experience based on where we need to put them the best that it can possibly be for the customers who come to purchase from them.
You know how sometimes you could go on a drive along with the police and you learn so much more about their job? I wonder what it would be like to hang out with Jasmine and Faith fielding complaints on Thursday night, because the balance job that you guys do in keeping vendors, merchants, customers, and the city happy, sometimes it might not be the perfect solution, but when you take into consideration everything, like for example, I mean, most of you probably know the food court is up by in front of the Hyatt by me, because the restaurants on the south end really did not want that kind of food competition going on in front of their place. And then keeping it together is what makes it easier for the city staff people to clean up the street there, so it's not like all dispersed throughout. Just things like that I know that they're all trying to juggle with this, and that these things that you're talking about are very, very important. I'm not trying to be dismissive of it, just the amount of balance that's involved. Sometimes it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to make the least people angry, I guess.
Yeah, that's
It's
it's
a
true.
complicated job to do all of that, because I've watched them do it, but I haven't really walked around and heard all the complaints. But
And then the farmers market, we used to have them prior to COVID with the shutdown. We had them on Talkowitz, and we would lose a lot of them. We did lose a lot once we moved them with all the construction. We moved them to Talkowitz, so we did lose a lot of our farmers market because they weren't doing as well. And then once we reopened and we didn't have Talkwoods there, we put them on museum, and they're over the moon because they're doing so well over there, whereas they struggled elsewhere, but they do better as a group. Because some people will come to Village Fest just for the farmers market, and they call me all the time, making sure where they are so that they can just park close to there and just go to that spot.
And then the merchants loved all the vendors on Talkwoods, and now they
Right.
complain because
they're
they want vendors in
complaining.
front of their spot.
Exactly.
So
They
it
want
is,
them
it's a
back.
bit of a balancing act.
Yeah, and that street's a lot darker as well, so it's
Well, I again, I don't want to
Excellent
lose
work,
sight of the work and information that Greg and David have brought to us. And I wonder if there's a way we can, whether we have a meeting that's just devoted to this, like understanding the categories and or maybe understanding the criterion for what constitutes a vendor being allowable. I know we have some abstaining and some negative votes sometimes on different vendors. And I think that also is a factor in us all understanding and being on the same page as to what constitutes an appropriate vendor. So maybe one of these Thursdays when we don't have a lot of vendors to interview, we could have just a general meeting and talk about some of these things.
We need a working session.
Yes, we were hoping,
Exactly.
we've been hoping to do that for months in person.
Yeah, in
and
person would be the best. I mean,
we absolutely agree with you.
I would love to second that. Both Greg and David, I think, yeah, you guys did an amazing job and brought up some really great points about even, just the experience, right? Like these big pillars of recruitment and growth.
Logistics. Can you guys hear me?
yes.
Yeah.
My headphones just died. But yeah, so even just like recruitment and growth, the logistics seems to be like, that big balancing act, obviously. But that, could enhance the experience, like you had mentioned, of tables and things like that for food vendors near the park and kind of extending the energy out there. But yeah, I would also second to, if there is a time where we could dive a little bit deeper and just kind of bounce some things off, because we probably could find a fine balance in between all this, even if we do need to trial something or at least make one little switch and see how that goes. But I think, the data never lies, and it's great to look at this and kind of see what this whole ecosystem is for us. And then we can kind of move from there. But great start. I think, coming back from this recess, this is a good direction. And I think a newfound energy for us of how we can improve the experience for not only visitors, but locals too, because, a lot more housing and, new hotels are going to be coming in the Soho House, for example. So it's going to bring a whole new, global clientele. So it's great that we're, getting prepared for this, and how do we enhance the experience and kind of make things seamless for not only the merchants and the businesses in town, but for all of us, right, that attend. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of follow up with this as well whenever we do find time to do that in person or next meeting. That's all.
Yasmin, I think I shared with you for what it's worth. I'm on another group that is meeting in the large conference room regularly. And we've also had several meetings at a conference room at the police department. So if those are options for you,
Are those meetings televised?
No.
Okay, I think that's probably the concern, is that they have to be held in the large conference room and televised. And what they're trying to do is still provide the option for those who are uncomfortable coming in person to still be able to participate in meetings. And that is part of what, when they're redesigning the room, is they're making it workable for virtual participation as well as in-person participation.
And I think we agree with that. We agree with that, but this is something that's a little bit more internal. This is a retreat, an opportunity for us to all be on the same page, to get to know each other better, and to know what our expectations are of our vendors, our community.
Right, and with that, we still are a board that is governed by the Brown Act, and we are required to allow the public to attend any meeting that has, at this point, I believe, more than 3 of us in attendance. So that still has to be part of our process. And we have to provide that. That's part of our guidelines. So, you know, whether we post it and we hold some sort of meeting and nobody attends, that's okay. But we still are obligated by the Brown Act to provide that to the public.
So what
Okay.
kind of progress has been made on that room? We've been hearing for several months now that they're working on it. Surely it's not that, that big of an issue that they couldn't get this room ready to have it. We held televised meetings in that room pre-COVID. So I'm not understanding this delay.
I just don't believe it's a priority for everyone. I think there's a lot of things on the table right now that have pushed this particular project back. Again, I'm not sure. I haven't checked during the month of August at all. I did check at the end of July. So there was no progress at the end of July. So
But the system wasn't broken before COVID. Couldn't we return to the same system that we had before?
It does not allow for public participation.
Oh.
It just allows for them to video us and present that to the public. What we have to do is we have to be live, and like a city council meeting, someone should be able to chime in and speak during public comments to you virtually, where that is not with the current system in place, or at least previous system in place, that was not a possibility. It also wasn't something that was needed, but because of COVID, we have to now provide that additional resource to the public.
I have two related questions. So that is how city council does it. I watch the meetings. I know I need to get a life, but I do watch the city council meetings. I actually record them and I take the weekend to skim through it. But nonetheless, the city council chamber is already set up for that. So two questions. One, could that be available to us not on a regular basis, but for a one-shot deal for something like that? Or secondly, is there an equivalent for us of closed session like the city council does? They have a closed session, at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, and then they have their meeting at 5:30, and the city attorney starts out by announcing there was a closed session and says whether or not there's anything to report to the public from that closed session. Is there an equivalent to that for us to be able to do this, to just as a team have our offsite type of thing and talk about all these things we talked about, and then possibly just segue into a public meeting and be able to report on what we talked about?
I will ask, but my instinct is going to be no, because the information that you want to review, it doesn't need to be private. It doesn't need to be in a closed session. Having the ability to talk about the breakdown of vendors and dive a little deeper into rules and regulations and onboarding processes is not, there's no legal reason why that needs to be a private session.
Yeah.
So the information that council discusses in private session has to do a lot with the legalities of the city.
Yeah.
So I will ask to confirm, but I will tell you, anytime we have had study sessions, meetings outside of our regular Tuesday, second and fourth Tuesday of the month, we made them available to the public. No one has ever attended, but we made them available to the public. So that we stay within guidance of the Brown Act.
Is
In
there
a positive note,
sorry, Dave. So is there an alternative for using something at the convention center the way they did for the appreciation dinner? Again, that was televised and that was recorded.
Yes, yes, absolutely. We can definitely hold what makes the way we could get away with not having it televised, I believe, I'll confirm it, would be to do it on a non-regular meeting day. So if you wanted to have a meeting on Friday morning from 9 until 1 to discuss in a study session some additional items, it falls on your non-regular meeting day, which is governed by an actual ordinance that says the VillageFest board meets at this day on this time, and that's our regular sessions. We still have to make it available to the public. We still have to post accordingly. We still have to take notes. All of that still needs to take place. But it would have to be on a non-meeting day.
And we have to be also mindful of the fact that we don't want to ask to be treated like the special children when there's all these commissions, where there's like 17 commissions or something. And a lot of them are dealing with the same struggle. So just remember that if they give candy to this kid, they got to give candy to all the other kids, right? So that's, yeah, sorry, go ahead. So David, what were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, 100%. I was just going to say, in a positive note, it could make it more attractive for people, and the competition is fierce for people that want to be on our commission and elevate it to something really, different and unique and special. Just a thought.
On another note, with the presentation that we saw, could we, Greg, I'll take a look at it with you. I don't know how technology conversant you are. You probably are as good as I am with it. But if not, if there's anything I know, because I've done a lot of PowerPoints and stuff and data gathering on Excel and all the stuff. So I'm wondering, is there a way that we could, on a regular basis, just get a dump of this information somehow? That doesn't mean it has to be a special project for Faith to have to look through files, but something that exists somewhere where we can pull in data and look at this possibly on a quarterly basis, just to review those same statistics. I love the way it was all presented and put together. I think that's very educational for the entire board, and something we can share otherwise. Like, I wish I had a couple of those slides when we had the appreciation dinner, because that would have been excellent data to show. They would have been interested to see it.
To answer your question, if Faith would send me the data that she got and she keeps it in a same format, I can create a pivot table and just import it all into an Excel spreadsheet and then slice it and dice it however this group would like to see it. So that's easy to do. I can do that.
Well, if you could do pivot tables, you're better than me, because I'm not like pivot tables. Faith, is that something that would create extra work for you, or is it something that's feasible?
I mean, I would just send him a list of, no, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Okay, all right. I just don't want to make
I would probably wait. I mean, a lot of vendors obviously left in the summer, so I'd wait till we get back into the swing of things, like
good idea.
October,
May I propose a slightly different approach? And that would be, we used the data that Faith and Jasmine had, but again, we're just putting it into our own categories. If we said, here's all the categories, and while we're at it, can we make sure we have updated contact information? It's just like an audit. It should be done, in a business sense. If you have 100 employees, you want to make sure the right people are getting the right checks. We have the right social security number and the right mailing address for, contact information. That's just, and then as a bonus, if you'd like to, please offer your thoughts on how well we're doing on this, a scale of 1 to 5, or an open-ended question says, what could we do better? What would you like to see different?
So is there going to be a survey of the merchants? And I think on Faith's recommendation, I do agree with that. We should be waiting until at least late October.
Agree.
Because season here, you know what season originally was here? Everyone used to define it as Halloween to Easter, right? That's what that was the bookends for high season here in Palm Springs. So so that's something that I think we could do. Any other thoughts on this, guys? I mean, again,
I think we're not going to accomplish anything more tonight, other than, if we can get a retreat together, that might be, or another session, that might be a way to further. But I think at this point, we're sort of just rehashing what we've already said.
Agreed. All right. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's, Jasmine, you'll see if there is an alternative for us to actually have a working session somehow, even if it has to be public, wherever. It could be in a conference room at the convention center. It could be if we could use the chamber for 2 hours one day or something like that. That would be great. If we can't do it that way, then guys, we're going to have to put on our thinking caps how we could accomplish what we want to accomplish and do it on Zoom, because everyone, I know it's more difficult, and I agree, and I'm not a big fan of this. If I was not retired, I'd be running into the office wrapped in a hazmat suit right now, right? So because it is difficult for me to work remotely. However, companies are doing it. People are onboarding through Zoom and remotely through video conference. They are educating that way. They're going through training courses and everything else. So we're not that special that we can't figure that out if we have to. Of course, it does cut into the quality of it. If we want it to be high quality, it would be best if we can get together and do it. So let's not wait till the next meeting to talk about that. Jasmine, as you know what's going on, if you can let us know, or maybe we should just assign 2 of us from this team to work with Jasmine on figuring it out so that it doesn't have to be minuted every time there's an email. If there's only 3 people on it, we could do that as well. How do you want to handle that, Jasmine?
If you want to assign 2 people for me to work with, the city clerk's office is pretty quick about getting back to me, especially when it has to do with commissions and boards. So I imagine I'll get a response tomorrow.
Okay, I would say that Greg or David. Now, David, your new job, right? So is it easier for Greg? Are you busy during the days?
My job actually understands and approves and appreciates me being involved in small businesses and helping the city succeed. And so I would have no trouble in a daytime meeting or taking a couple of hours every week to wrap this kind of stuff up. They love this.
But I mean, as far as right now for the back and forth banter of, timely response to emails and stuff with Jasmine over the next week or 2 to figure out what we're going to do, would be either you or Greg. So you should pick one. You guys, you can duke it out. And I don't know, Celia, do you want to do it or?
No, I've just been elevated to being in charge of all of the museum volunteers. So
You have to stop getting promoted, lady. Don't be scared of what you do. All right, so it can be Chris or I. Chris, is this something that you want to do? If not, I'm happy to do it.
If if Greg and David, if you'll have me, I mean, happy
Absolutely.
to, put any,
right.
thoughts and ideas into this as well. So,
but it can only be 2 people along with Jasmine, because any more than that, we can't be just emailing back and forth. That's why. So I'm happy to butt out of it, but Greg and David has to be one of you, and then Chris.
Why can't it
I
be both of
don't
them?
mind continuing to work on it, but I'm
right.
happy to bring somebody else in.
And you'll keep David in the loop, because this is not for the thing that you're doing, David, right now. This is really more for figuring out how we can do a working session, because the working session is, aside from the vendor stuff that you guys have done such great work on, there's another part of that, which is the standards and what we agree on as standards for approving or rejecting or abstaining and things like that. One quick example is, we're always all interested in the price point of things, but I can tell you that for all the time I've been on VillageFest, this is the first year anyone ever asked prices. We never have before, because Dottie used to keep us in line and say, the street will work that out. The market works that out. Don't worry about if they want to charge $49 for a piece of bubble gum. They're not going to sell it, and then that will stop, right? That's not for us to block. It's more proving that it's quality bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, sorry. That's my soapbox. All right, so let's just say it's going to be Greg and Chris and Jasmine. You guys figure out what we can do, and then come back, and Jasmine, you can update me, or whoever can, and just let me know what our options are, and we'll figure it out.
Sounds
good. I would
good.
love to have a working session soon.
I will email the slides to everybody so you have them.
Great.
Yep.
So where are we on the agenda?
Agenda? What's that?
And I respectfully request that we move along.
We're on reports and requests, public and board, and Main Street comments, I guess will be next, because we already talked about our requests and our reports, right? So I would say that we are on Main Street comments now.
Well, a couple of things. One is, it sure has been busy downtown on Thursday nights. And at this time of year when it's so hot, sometimes the whole day of 8 hours equals the 4 hours of VillageFest as far as dollars go, because of the way that people come out in the evening. So we're really happy about that. I did want to also tell you that I've been working pretty closely with Palm Springs Tourism and with Visit Palm Springs. And that we're working on some social media and search engine optimization programs that are really easy. And maybe that would be something great for VillageFest vendors too, to teach them a little bit more about social media. I mean, I've been learning from Chris, so, but you know, I'm catching some tips from him. And, but Randy over at Tourism has been putting together a really great program for merchants, downtown merchants and Palm Springs merchants, but VillageFest vendors would fit right in that. So if there would be some way to get them that information without totally putting it out to the public, I don't know exactly what that would look like, just because it's kind of like our thing we got working on here. But I think it could really help VillageFest vendors too, just to learn some of the basic stuff. Like when I go to look up somebody on the agenda and they don't have a website or a Facebook page or an Instagram, I'm really at a loss as to how they conduct business nowadays.
Especially in this world of partially remote and partially in-person business.
Yes, exactly.
So when you say is there a way to get the word out there without offering it to everybody wholesale, full stop?
I mean, not on the website, but I think I remember that you send out some sort of note, some sort of something to the vendors every so often. I don't know if it's a newsletter or what it is, but maybe if that is something that you already had on your plate, then maybe we could just add that information to it of where, you know, all the links that the Bureau has put together that could help the vendors.
Do we have a mail distribution list for all the vendors? An email distribution list?
Yeah, the rates go up and stuff, right? That you got your cost of living, so they have to be notified of that. So there's probably something.
Yes.
But I don't want to give you more work to do, so.
Can we send from that, or does it have, no, it should really come from staff. It's true. Well, we could craft something and just say, Faith, can you just email this to all merchants, right?
Well,
Yes.
maybe next time that we have a meeting, I'll have more information for you and I'll send it to Faith, and then maybe she could send that out as part of, I don't know. I don't know how that works with the Brown Act. So however it works, you tell me and I'll just do whatever you want me to do.
You can talk all you want to Faith, as long as there's not two of us in the meeting with you. There can only be one of us in the meeting.
Yes.
Right? No, actually, does staff count as one?
No.
For the Brown Act?
And I don't count as anything.
Moved it with joy.
I don't count as anything.
Yes, you do.
Because I'm a liaison. I'm not a voting member of your board, so the Brown Act does not actually apply to me, but I can't put any of you in a position of a Brown Act violation by communicating with more than what is the majority.
But it's really 3 voting members, isn't that right, Jasmine?
Yeah, right now, I guess it's 3, right? How many do you have? 1, 2, 3,
We have
4,
6.
5.
We have 6 board members.
Well,
So
if
4 is what makes a
if all
quorum.
6 were here, then 4 would be the quorum.
Yeah. So in reality, you could have up to 3 without a problem. So that, like I said, it could be, yeah.
But I could just talk to Faith or Jasmine and then they could figure out what the best way is to disperse that information.
And I think before we disperse information, we should be prepared to wrap a framing around it so that we can give some guidance along with that. So that if we say, you know, if we start encouraging everyone to use social media, we could be stepping over each other with social media. They have to be, you know, they have to draw a line around it. It has to be for their booth and their product, right? And or their service, and not overlap with the general Village Fest, like the stuff that you do and that Chris does.
Well, anybody could do that. No, nothing would stop anybody from doing any of those things.
But we'd like to express guidance to try to keep order around it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's
try to keep order. Yeesh. Golly.
Come on, only 49,000 people in this thing.
Oh, lordy. Okay.
All right, that's it for Main Street?
Yeah, that's it. Everything's pretty good. Slow in the
So-
day.
So you'll be the liaison for us to Randy in tourism about this?
Yes,
Okay.
I already emailed him
Good.
since we've been at the meeting. I'm so sorry. I already emailed Jay Barada too. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get it going and I
That's
didn't
good.
want to.
Oh, good.
If I get that information, I'll send that off to Dan and Greg. Because that's, oh wait, who was it? Was it
Chris and
Dan
Greg.
and Greg or was it
Chris and Greg.
David and Greg?
Chris and Greg.
I'll just send it to Faith and Jasmine and they could send it where it goes properly.
All right. Okay, so the next on the agenda is the subcommittee reports, which we already did. That's recruitment and retention. And that was your report, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That seems it, unless there's any staff reports. Nada? Are we ready to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn. I was ready to do this 20 minutes ago.
I can tell. I can read your body language. I second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, guys. Great meeting. Great work, you guys, on the presentation as well. Seems like we're starting to really pull together. Happy about that.
And thanks again to Greg and Dave for that lovely presentation.
Beautifully done.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And when we meet in person, we get fed. So there is that perk.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.